When I started after college in advertising and marketing, what I found most attractive about the space was that it was really a blend of creativity and data and math. And I'd like to argue that today I think we've put too much emphasis in digital marketing and digital advertising into the data side. And for too long, I think we've ignored what's possible on the creative side. And when we think about Adobe, Adobe is at heart a creative company. And when we look at our opportunity, we think it is our opportunity to help bring back some balance between data and creative in the market. And I also believe that if we don't do that, I think what we're seeing in the market is a negative response to how far we've gone to the left side of our brain, how data-oriented we are. There is actually tangible value in delivering good creative. And this is a McKinsey report. And what they find is a positive correlation between those companies that have the most creative advertising in the market and how fast their revenue grows. And I think we're starting to see the industry really talk about improving the advertising experience and the creative experience in advertising. And I think that's what Adobe is committing to. But this is going to be a journey. And Adobe is going to invest into improving not just the process, but also the quality of ads and the connection to the Creative Cloud and the connection to Photoshop and Illustrator, where all this creative is being built, so that you can build better velocity, better stories, better consumer experience, and improve it.
So I'm going to show you our attempt on making the entire ecosystem, from advertiser down to designer down to end customer, a little bit happier in their ad experiences. This is Advertising Cloud Creative. So we start with the notion of an ad experience. Think of this as your collection of your audiences, your targeting parameters, tied to the ads that you want to deliver against those people, right? So it's the who and the what in the ad experience. One of the first concepts that you have in making sure that you deliver a good experience for your customer. And that's the notion of a catch-all, a safety net. So we have the notion of default ads. And the lowest common denominator of defaults, to make sure you don't have to worry about some of those environmental considerations, are static ads. So now we hop into our experience decision tree. You start off with the notion of all, right? You need to be able to target everybody, and then you start whittling down the audience, your customers, from there. We've got a notion of flexible ads that we're introducing, which is essentially an HTML5 ad that your design team or design agency can follow a specification sheet, basically a recipe book, to register certain attributes of that HTML so that you as advertisers and marketers can change some headlines, background images, etc. yourself without having to go through that long and expensive process of changing a couple of different values as a season changes or a promotion changes. Then we got third party, right? Third party ads, IB standard HTML5, and then dynamic ads, which are basically coming from a feed. So let's go ahead, edit these ads. This is where you see the first collaboration tool where you can closely partner with your design team or design agencies through the use of Creative Cloud. So what we've done is we've tapped into that asset repository that they're just used to. And then over the course of time, you need to do a headline change, new campaign comes up, you just go back into that experience, change your targeting structure, change your creatives, change your attributes, and save it. You don't have to retraffic a single thing. Those ad tags are still alive. So once you get live with an experience, you need to make sure that these things are working, right? Both on the front end side and back end side. So we do have a reporting dashboard where you get all your front end metrics like impressions, clicks, click-through rate, but also the back end stuff like conversions. Then we also have extremely granular targeting, right? Where you set up all those ads, all those targets. We discreetly show you, given an experience and an entire targeting structure and a creative and all the attributes like different headlines and backgrounds, how did that unique combination perform as is traffic live? We have a notion of a creative library. So this is basically a collection of all the ads that you are running or have run, all in a single view. But we also have the notion of iteration. So if you need to know what were all the variations, all the iterations that someone has made over time, you can click this button and it will show you every single iteration that has been trafficked. That Advertising Cloud Creative is meant to solve a lot of the workflow issues that Justin mentioned, so we can get to better ads quicker, more timely manner, and Many, many more of them. And one advertiser that's really leaned in on this concept is MGM. They've really partnered with Adobe across the space. On-site, they're making sure that analytics is covering their performance in an on-site manner. They're making sure that that information can be leveraged in on-site testing and experience selection with Target and AEM, and then transfer that information, right, that context off into an off-site environment by leveraging Audience Manager as a DMP to take the segmentation data and find their folks, find their customers in all the unique segments, then of course buy and deliver through AdCloud. These guys were able to drive a 27% lift in engaged users, but I think the most important piece is it drove 30% more revenue by evolving their entire creative strategy into the seamless workflow between the creative team and the marketer.